Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMEFocus show brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Christopher Greenough, and in this series we will focus on the work of SMEs within the British manufacturing sector. As you can see, I haven't managed to get to the barbers yet, but it is moving up my to-do list. Every week we will discuss and analyse the opportunities and challenges facing the industry in these unprecedented times. I have worked in the sector for over 26 years and I'm CCO at SDE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. So hopefully you can really appreciate that this show is for manufacturers by manufacturers. My guest today is Peter Bruch, Managing Director at AE Aerospace Ltd. Peter, welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. As you can probably see, I have managed to make it to the barber, seeing it's done at home. And I'll just correct you on one thing, if that's okay. It's pronounced Bruch, believe it or not. That's
fine, absolutely. And I should have checked that before we came on. My fault.
No, it's all right. Most people manage to get that wrong, unfortunately. But well done.
Good to speak to you. Well, good to speak to you and good to see you. So tell us about AE Aerospace and what is it you do?
We are a precision manufacturer, machine to print, for the aerospace, civil, defence and marine markets. Okay. We're based in the north of Birmingham. We've been going since 1996. We did a management buyout just over 7 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. And we moved facility just over 2 years ago. So it's been all go.
Fantastic. And the name AE Aerospace obviously doesn't limit you to that one sector then?
Yeah, it does. We've been thinking about having AE Rail and AE Nuclear and AE Fridges, but we just never seem to get away from defence, aerospace or marine. As soon as we try and bring some more customers online, our existing customers put more work with us, and we have to stop and just carry on with that. So I'm not complaining in any way, shape or form, but it's always been interesting.
So that's a good way to grow the business then. Tell your existing customers you're looking for new work and suddenly they give you more order book.
Yeah, we've always said we don't do any sales, we don't do any marketing particularly. There's a slight lie nowadays because we took on a communications and marketing apprentice last year. It's just to get our image out there. We don't sell what we do particularly. It's just trying to get the message out about manufacturing in the UK, the aerospace markets, apprenticeships and all this sort of thing.
Which is, I mean, a passion of mine, trying to promote UK manufacturing. And that's really what this show, I know you do a lot on LinkedIn. And you speak a lot around the issues around 5G and why we need the infrastructure and why we need to invest in that infrastructure. Why is that technology so important?
First, a little bit of context. I'm not quite a Luddite. I do have the latest phone available, but the computer I'm talking to you on is 9 years old. And I'm quite happy with it because it works, it does what it needs to do. So when we were first asked whether we would be interested in 5G, it was okay, but what can it do? And to be honest with you, pretty much all the way through, I've still not, well, no, that's a lie. A week ago, I figured out what it was all about and what the difference was, the differences. So if I can give you an example, one of our use cases is an AI camera. So it basically looks for damage on components so that either prior to dispatch to the end customer or to subcontractors, it checks and makes sure that everything is okay. So first of all, it scans the component and it takes hundreds, if not thousands, of very small size photos and stitches them together. It then gets taught what damage looks like and what damage doesn't look like, and so on. So far, so good. It's sat on a desk in one of the offices and it's plugged into our network. And my argument was, it's plugged into the network. Why do we need 5G for it? And I was told quite unceremoniously, and I apologise, I must get the figures corrected. But our hardwired system works on, let's say, 10 megabits a second. I know that's the wrong number, but it gives you
it's a base. It's a base.
Yeah. Wi-Fi and 4G work on a lower level than that. And I said, well, isn't that good enough? Because wired has always been superb. And they said, no, 5G A works on 10 times the speed. Ooh, blimey, okay. And also, whereas if you had, let's say, 10 of these cameras, the speed would drop on our wired network or on Wi-Fi or anything. Yeah, exactly. The more you put on it, the slower it goes. With 5G, that doesn't happen. So, A, it's working at 10 times the speed, and also you don't get any drops. So we could have 100 of these camera systems on our shop floor, and it would still go at the same speed. And it's, you know, that's the bit where you go, wow, my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. And it's allowing you to check multiple parts, check the quality before it goes out, fully automated, and then you can make any checks, any changes to that stock before it goes out. So it's protecting the customers all the way through.
Yeah, and protects us on the way back as well from subcontracts in case something's happened. But that's just the simplest thing that we're using it for. We're actually using it for real-time information from the machines to our production control system, for capacity planning, so that we can identify problems immediately rather than somebody going around with a clipboard and a pen or whatever you. We know what's going on. So if somebody's got a problem, we can jump on it instantly. And the other major use case that we're working on is with our gauging. So obviously components have to be measured. What we're looking for is to understand how often they're being measured, where the gauge actually is in the factory floor, because the old thing about Bob's got it, now go and find it. And worse still, sometimes things get dropped. And rather than not knowing about it and finding out later, I'm not saying that we'd ever have that happen, of course, but we know instantly because we've got accelerometers, if I can say it right, in the technology that's attached to the gauges, so that we'll know when something's dropped or something's happened to it, even when it's been picked up and used.
So you're really embracing that technology to drive your business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We believe that we've got some of the leading edge ERP systems with DNA value chain. They're helping us on this process. We're working closely with BT and Ericsson as far as the hardware is concerned. And obviously it's been led by West Midlands 5G and Worcestershire 5G. To put this system in place, to take it from what they use as a technology readiness level, TRL level 2 or 3. So something that really needs a lot of help and a lot of engineering support, to something that's TRL level 7 or 8, that's more commercially available, that's plug and play, so that we can then, with partners, disseminate that information out to other SMEs within engineering or manufacturing to help others start to take this on board.
So you're really a test bed, but a test bed to take that sort of inventiveness to the commercial level into business. Now, I know you've won many awards through your journey with AE Aerospace. What's your winning formula?
We enter and we get lucky.
I think there's more to it than that, isn't there?
I wish I knew what the actual secret was, to be honest with you. We try and do stuff, and we try and make things better, whether it's it's for us to a certain degree, but it's whether it's our apprenticeships or whether it's the stuff we do with schools or universities or the 5G or the SC21 Supply Chains 21st Century program that we're on. So we're always trying to do things better. And it's really just a simple case then of transferring that onto a piece of paper and explaining to others what we're doing. And then it's down to them. It's up to them to see us as a potential award winner or whatever. So it's really nice for the company, but I think it's nicer for the team themselves that they can see that what we're doing is actually recognised and rewarded and awarded by third parties that have got no reason to do anything than judge us against our peers. It's lovely,
Absolutely.
It really is.
And you mentioned Supply Chain 21. Can you explain what that is?
Yes, it's ADS, which is the aerospace trade body, so aerospace, defence, space and security. They introduced, I think it was just over 10 years ago now, an improvement program based on the EFQM quality model. And it basically looks at your business excellence, manufacturing excellence, and your relationship excellence with your customers. And there are 3 levels. There's SC21 Light, which is for small businesses, very small, sub 1 million. The next level that we've been on for some time now is OE. And basically you get audited either by yourself or by a supporting customer, or by ADS themselves on occasion, and you get a score, and from there you can also work out what you need to do to improve. The top level that came out just over a year ago, it was actually announced at the last Farmer in 2018, is SC21 C&G, and the C&G is competitiveness and growth, and that's a slightly more, well, a lot more interventionalist approach, where initially you have an audit done by an external party, and that's run by the SMMT, Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. And they look at what you're doing. They go and talk to your customers and get an understanding from them what you're doing, and then put together a business plan to look at the number of modules that are within the process to see which ones will get you the best performance improvement within the time space. And that's 100% funded by government, by base. And we were very lucky last year in February to be the first company to be approved for the funding. Unfortunately, other things happened last year, so we didn't actually launch till September. So we're one of the companies working our way through it. And the improvements that are already giving us, let alone what we're going to get through it, are enormous. It really allows us to grow up from being the little business we were to what we hope to be in the future.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. And you mentioned the future, so your plans for the rest of 2021 and beyond?
A quiet life is the first answer. 2020 was, like most people, a little busy. We had a slightly different problem to most in that our order book didn't collapse. We had to keep going. So we didn't close the factory and the offices at any point. We had some people that we had to shield, obviously, and that's exactly what we did do and protected them. But we had to keep going because a lot of our work is defence. We were told in no certain terms by government that we needed to keep busy. The only issue was that a lot of our major customers were working from home, and a lot of our suppliers just disappeared for a period of time. Everybody's back on board. We're slowly clawing our way back to some sense of normality. So definitely the rest of this year is just, let's keep it nice and quiet, not too exciting. Thank you very much. Going forward, the SC21 C&G is a massive part of our development program. But talking of awards that we were earlier, we were very lucky to win a competition last year with a company called The Uncommon Practice, which gives us 3 years worth of strategic consultancy support for free. It's been a massive benefit to us already. And those 2 programs combined are really going to push us forward. So it's back on, hopefully on the growth wagon again, and making real good use and improving the efficiencies of the products, processes and equipment that we've got, and give a decent service.
which you've done all through your time at AE. It's great to hear that you've got good plans. It's great to hear that you've got improvements that are coming all the time and that you're on that journey. And fantastic to speak to you, Peter. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of another show. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to meeting more of our brilliant SME manufacturers like Peter next week, and those involved with the manufacturing sector also. If you would like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or even to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. Again, thank you, Peter. Fantastic show today. So from me, Chris G at SDE, goodbye.